What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 51 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. So as we saw last time, Marcus Wolfhard had a second battle now under his belt against the forces of, once again, Hexoatl. It did go fairly well for us, and Marcus is clearly already getting quite a bit stronger. I can't wait to see what his army is going to look like once he has his war wagons and his higher tier hunters, when they have even more buffs on them, when pistol core is maxed out, and when we have sharpshooter on them as well, which will increase their damage output considerably, but so will everything else. Plus, we'll have items on the heroes and stuff. This army will be getting pretty good by the time it gets up there in levels. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do, we did really pretty much everything that we needed to do last episode, except the destruction of Clan Scryer here. Now, originally I wasn't going to give the IKIT buff to IKIT, or to Helmet rather, IKIT buff to IKIT, but I think in this particular situation we can give it to Helmet, as we are going to keep him around as an artillery lord anyway. So in that light we will be fighting this. I just want to double check, does this have a settlement? Does this have a walls? No. Alright, this guy just took it from our wood elf friends, so it does make sense that he doesn't. Well, that's just fine. Shouldn't be a troubling battle for us. The enemy has fairly limited artillery, though he does have a poison wind mortar, which is scary, and a bunch of fast movers, but well, we out-artillery him and out-infantry him fairly considerably. So our last battle for Rickett, I do have to wonder whether he has a nuke, despite the fact that it's not showing. Let's see what we can do.
It will be done!
Alrighty, IKIT claws last fight, and it will be Helmut Feuerbach who will be taking the enemy out by himself. No, I'm kidding. We'll wait until the reinforcements arrive, as I doubt that Helmut, as decent as he is going to stand too much of a chance against us. Even against IKIT by himself, I sincerely doubt, mostly because, well, our guy's level 7, so, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna speed this up while the reinforcements move on the field, and get ourselves in a nice position. It's a nice wide open field for us to make good use of both our cavalry and our artillery pieces, so it should be pretty effective in that regard. We are going to move a few units off the field, however, namely a couple of our units of flagellants, mostly because we need the extra unit space for the 20 or the 40 units max on the field, so we can have all the artillery pieces on field, as they'd probably be a little bit more valuable than the berserk little guys. And even though, well, then again, we have so many units of infantry that we really don't need them. And I'm just going to keep setting everybody up. There's that artillery battery. We are actually going to keep a couple units of Sigmarite Disciples and the Tattersouls on top of the artillery, mostly because we want them to protect them in case Menace Belows repeatedly attack us. And since IKIT does not have a nuke, unless the game is lying, we should be safe to just blob up our units like this, as they can't nuke them and kill the entire battery in one go. It would be unfortunate. Yeah, nice little pile of arty. Makes for a very imperial army, doesn't it? Alright, just gonna keep it sped up until we move into the proper position here. And then we can go into regular speed. Come on now, still wishing for the addition of a, like, X8 speed or something like that, and there we go. That should be in range for the artillery at least, so cannons, begin fire. I hear horns. Cannons, this is you. Cannons. These guys are waving. It looks like they're saying attack, but they ain't firing. Alrighty, are we just actually slightly out of range? No, I feel like the cannons are very slightly in range on these units. Should be able to fire. Alright, fine. We'll move forward a little bit more. False start there. Just a little bit. Now everybody's most definitely in range. Second try. I keep waiting to hear them fire. Oh, man. Well, there we go. Good enough. I really just wanted to hear the sound effects of the various cannon firing. I still think they're very much inferior to the sound effects of the Cathayan cannons firing, but it is what it is. Obviously, we're going to start annoying the enemy as best we can with mortar and cannon alike, though I think it's only the Sutsun's guns that are currently in range, though of course the other mortars will be in range as the enemy gets annoyed and start moving forward. In terms of our setup here, we have our summoned units out front, our halberdiers and our greatswords, then we have our lines of greatswords directly behind them, protecting the our units of hand gunners, or rather the units of bordermen, and then we have our Sigmarite disciples to buff up individual blobs with their aura effect, the physical resistance that they give, which is nice as well. Affected units in range, leadership is higher than broken, so that means it should be affecting everybody here. 10% physical resistance. Lovely. Alrighty, and it looks like the enemy army is sufficiently annoyed now to move towards us. The artillery battery will probably do a lot of work before the day is done. Looks like the enemy is firing back, however, as the enemy Giselles have begun to focus down our summoned unit of halberdiers. We've also sent in our single flying unit, Ulrich here, who is an Empire captain, to annoy the enemy artillery, mostly because I don't generally think that cannons or mortars will kill this fast enough, and this guy can just tie this up, and if we need to target our artillery at it, we will, but otherwise our artillery is going to be working on the enemy infantry and such as they head directly towards us. Alright, and over on the flanks we have Doom Wheels and we have Doom Flayers and even some Night Runners. We're going to have to be countering those with our various units of Knights of More, though we, by the looks of it, don't have enough. Only 2 on this side to deal with 4 units, so we'll see how well they can fare against all that. Alright, gonna try to charge these Doom Flayers right here with the Knights of More. Let's see how effective they are at this. And the same thing on the other side with the Doom Wheels. There we go. Alright, surround them, destroy them. Looks like a brass orb coming down, but kind of a whiff on that one. Not really in the middle of our formation, just sort of clipping a few of the units there, so a bit of a waste from IKIT. Speaking of IKIT, we move in our lords and heroes to try to deal with him. Obviously not our wizard, who's going to back out. And then we've got our Knights of More fighting over on this side as well, with those Doom Wheels and Doom Flayers. Fortunately, the Knights of More being regular cav, they can stay in the battle, or stay in the fight for a decent time, unlike Shock Cav. And they should be able to do decently well, and chase any enemy that actually tries to run away. Otherwise, it's still going to take some time until the enemy actually reaches us, but our bordermen and such will begin to fire shortly. IKIT's in kind of trouble. He's down by about 25% HP, and he is fighting a lot of units. And if the enemy units move in to help him, well, we simply grenade them down. So I do think that should be reasonably effective. Our Knights of More still fighting on the sides here, but have been backed up by some units of greatswords. And we got more greatswords moving forward as well now. The army is starting to move. All these effects kind of making it difficult to see, but oh well. Alrighty, those Doom Flayers look like they're in pretty bad shape by the looks of it. About 25% HP remaining here. Looks like IKIT's managed to do quite a lot of damage to Helmet, though. But it is appropriate that Helmet, being the starter of this battle, who will acquire the defeat trait, to actually directly fight IKIT. So I like this. It's fine. Also going to move in more heroes and gonna pop some buffs and debuffs on them. Well, I guess the Soulfire isn't really a debuff insofar as, unless you can consider being dead a debuff. And there we go. Quite hectic in the center here. How are we doing on the sides? Looks like more and more of our units are getting engaged. The rats fighting the halberds and the greatswords wherever the front lines have smashed into each other. Looks like one of our mortarmen, I think those are the mortifactors. Yep, and the Mortifactors, one of the Knights of War, actually did get seen off by the piles of Doom Wheels and the Doom Flayers and the Night Runners, or Gutter Runners, or whatever it was. So good job to them, but we now are moving Great Swords in, as well as a Warrior Priest and more Great Swords to help those guys out. The bounce power is now about 90% in our favor, and most of the enemy army is in very bad shape. While the flanks certainly take some effort here, the rats, especially the clan rats, are not going to have any kind of chance of dealing with Great Swords, and not even with halberds either, so that's working out pretty well. IKIT's also in trouble back here, and so are the Doom Flayers. We'll be out of here shortly. Though a few of them are coming back. I also want to point out that our mortars have been targeting the Jezzails here. We can't have those things. They are just very, very frightening units in general, and we don't want those around. It looks like IKIT is in fact broken and may not be coming back as our army just overwhelms the remnants of the enemy's front line. And yeah, the Doom Flayers look like they did quite a lot of work in this particular battle. It was the Doom Flayers and the Doom Wheels, really, that threatened both our center as well as our flanks. The rest of the enemy army, i.e. all those units of rats, that really didn't achieve too much. And while the enemy did have that catapult and the Jezzails and stuff, our own artillery battery was much too large for them to be really of any use. So, well done to everybody here. It looks like it's a decisive victory, and we will be seeing Clan Scryer no more. Alrighty, there we go. So ends the tale of Clan Scryer. Took a little bit of damage, but really not all that much, and we should be able to heal everything up over the end turn. Okay, that's got to be a bug. I feel like that's a bug. I'm not entirely sure why it says that Helmet has 1,000 kills, 1,100 kills, when the enemy had only 2.5k units. I sincerely doubt that he had that many kills, but whatever. Very odd. And yeah, as we can see, his damage delta's gold value and damage delta's quite low. So I don't know what the heck is going on. Is that the entire kill count that our army has in battle, perhaps? As in, the rest of the units just ran off the field, and this is what we got in the fight, maybe? I do have to wonder. But anyway, not like it's super important. And at the very least, Helmet was the one that took the most damage, which makes sense, considering he's the one that we decided to give the defeat trait to. Alrighty, Clan Scryer destroyed, Estalia secured, ally mission successful aplenty. There's that IKIT defeat trait. Another Hedge Wizard, another Scribe as well. Feather Foe Torque we don't really care about, but the other stuff is all nice. We're gonna repair that harbor, and we're gonna pop it up to the next level. And there we go. Alright, we can also get the... Ooh. Wait. We could also pop it up to next level next turn. There was something that I wanted, specifically for Helmet. And that was... where are we here? I wanted to get a Witch Hunter. A specific Witch Hunter with Imperial Calibration, Artillery Calibration. Oh, for the love of... Where can we generate Witch Hunters? Wait, here perhaps? Okay, yeah, we can get one here. Witch Hunter, yes, Imperial Calibration. Defender of Mana is also a possibility. Extra Powder gives what again? No, you can't see it on the side here. Okay, fine. Imperial Calibration for now, because these guys aren't really all that expensive. And then we will move you out here. And we'll send you to join Helmet's army. I just want to check what exactly more powder does, as opposed to Imperial Calibration. So this just gives us range increase, base explosive damage, and armor piercing damage, regardless. It's actually pretty good. And the base explosive damage in particular will be very valuable to an artillery-heavy army, so I do think that that's also valuable. Plus, we don't currently have an army that has a lot of Witch Hunters, so Witch Hunters and artillery, kind of an odd combination, but certainly not one that we necessarily have to pass up. And then we can combine the accusation that they have with both artillery and regular range units. Let's do that. Alrighty, well, I believe that is all that we have to do this turn, as once again we did everything else last time. We'll pop the Council of Electors back up. We'll end the turn, and then we'll see if we get attacked. Where we can get attacked is... Also, you don't need that Featherfoe Torque right now. Where we could get attacked... I'm thinking about applying those skill points. We can always do that later as well. Not here, it's Mazda Mundi that we care about. I'd be really curious to see if he's willing to try to fight Marcus Wolfhard. So, skip, and assign skill points, skip, end the turn. And let's see. Alright, come on, Mazda. I'm hoping that he does attack Marcus rather than go south to the Temple of Kara. Granted, I'm sure that the AI wants to retake it, but nonetheless. Mazda, yeah, I'd love to peace out with you, I would, but you attacked Eataine. I don't know why, but you did, and now you have to suffer for it. Alrighty, well, he is here, and he is willing to attack us. A valiant defeat, apparently, but I think we can do. He is on Zlak, though. Ooh, well, that should be pretty fun. Yeah. I like that very much. He's got 12.5k HP, 1800 points of barrier, 50% missile resistance. Very, very nice. Plus he's got those Geomantic Guardians, so 3 units of Blessed Temple Guard. Or just Temple Guard. Oh, he has Blessed Temple Guard. I am so jealous. I've been wanting these in my Krokgar campaign for what feels like forever. But anyway, it looks like this is the second cinematic battle, and Marcus, take it. Alrighty, here we go. This looks like a pretty fun fight. Lots of enemy units to contend with. Mazda Mundi himself on Zlak, I believe, with a decent amount of source and all that other stuff as well. Alright, Mazda, let's see how many arrows you can take. He's gonna start off by casting a spell as well. But they do have quite a whiles to travel to us. Oh, it looks like we're getting some nice shots off on these Blessed Temple Guards. Wolfheart is knocking a few of them out. Got 9 kills so far already, and obviously we want to target the more threatening units. We will switch to Mazda Mundi as he gets in range, but currently he's just a little bit too far. And, oh, did he cast a spell on one of our little tiny garrison units of halberdiers? Well, kind of a waste. And here we go. The battle is joined, or at the very least our ranged units are going to begin to fire. A poor skink cohort, I want to say, yes, has moved into range, and they're going to be the ones to feel the wrath of all these arrows first. Although they're going to melt very, very quickly, and then we can switch to the next target. The enemy is also moving around with its flyers, so we do have to be concerned about that. And Mazda is quickly approaching the center line as well. That said, the enemy will be stopped by all of these little tiny garrison units whose deaths we don't care about. And then we can simply move our other units forward to deal with them if they break through, or once I should say, if they break through. Well, let's see if this is a valiant defeat. Fireleech Bolas coming down. Definitely got to be very wary of those, whether it be against pikes or against huntsmen. Mazda Mundi's moving in, and he's also now getting targeted by our lord and heroes, by and large, and maybe a couple of units of huntsmen as well. He is going to become a pincushion fairly quickly at this rate, I think. That's a lot of units firing at him. He's got Sundered Armor on him and below 1/3 HP at this time. There we go, another nice shot from Wolfheart, and Mazda's looking like he will drop. Sorry, Mazda. Sorry, Zlak. Mazda, of course, teleports out. But wait, Mazda teleports out but doesn't open a teleporter to get Zlak? They should have done a portal for Zlak as well, because it's not like, I mean, Mazda survives, but it's not like Zlak doesn't come back with him as well. Unless he has a pen full of Zlax. But anyway, with the death of Mazda, the enemy army should be quite a lot less threatening, I should say. Looks like the enemy once again decided to move up with a bunch of units on our flanks, and just like the last time this happened with Marcus's army, we're going to use the Light Wizard to stop them in their tracks. The Net of Amantok stopping some Chameleon Stalkers, and the Tormentor Sword allowing us to stop the rest. Looks like those Fire Leech Bolas are out, and I believe the other unit of Fire Leech Bolas has been knocked out as well, so those are probably the other biggest threat on the field here. Blessed Temple Guard, however, are fighting our pikes here, and that's not the best matchup for them. And by them I mean our pikes. So they probably won't survive too long like this, but oh well. I mean, obviously we're very willing to get rid of these spikes for something that works a little bit better in this particular army, so even if they're destroyed, it's not like we care. We've already replaced a bunch of pikes in this army. And it's only a matter of time until they're all gone. I'm still thinking Lothern Sea Guard's the way to go, at least in the early portions. Alrighty, and Mr. Roderick Alongi holding off against some Saurus warriors here as well, with the other unit of pikes mixed together with a unit of halberds, though they are quite surrounded. There is a red-crested skink unit fighting off our pikemen over on this flank, and it does look like the Blessed Temple Guard, or rather regular Temple Guard, are also going to deep strike in and start annoying the rest of our units. We do have that little tiny mortar that is part of our garrison, but obviously we don't particularly care that much about it. Looks like these pikes have been nearly destroyed by the Blessed Temple Guard, though that's hardly surprising, and we've actually peeled away a couple of our huntsmen to go chase down any enemies that are there or that are routing, just to make sure that they don't come back. Alrighty, this has certainly devolved into a much more melee-focused battle than I was originally expecting. And ooh, Chameleon Stalkers moving in as well are going to tie up some of our huntsmen. That was a very nice move by summoning those Temple Guard on top of the mortar, because they can move together with the Chameleon Stalkers to chase the huntsmen down and prevent them from firing as well. Got a few units of Feral Cold Ones that have come back as well, though it looks like these guys are pretty much done for, having been knocked out by the huntsmen. Mounts of Power still very much in our favor, but still got about 20%-ish to go. And a lot of the enemy units aren't getting hit by range shots, though it looks like Wolfheart is cleaning up. He's done fairly well with his shots. Really? Right into the ground? Just as I praise you, man? There you go, that's better. Yeah, surprisingly, it looks like Wolfheart can only knock out one model of Saurus per shot, which is a little bit less than I thought. I would have thought that his attack would actually have enough splash damage to at least knock a couple out. A little bit disappointing in that regard. I guess you have to use the Amber Bow ability to do that, but oh well. Much better at sniping lords than he is at actually damaging units. Alrighty, let's see what else we've got in the enemy army. 90% balance of power in our favor, and in fact most of them seem to be routing away. But yeah, this turned to be fairly difficult, so maybe the auto-resolve wasn't quite lying. Though one of the problem with the Temple Guard unit here, for example, was that turned around and got hit by our huntsman in the back, which is, I guess, it was a double-edged sword by popping right into the middle of our formation like that, because yeah, they were able to distract some of the huntsmen, but the rest could fire into them from the sides and the backs, and we even have some handgunners to help out against this as well. And a few extra volleys in there. But otherwise, it looks like the enemy army will shatter for good, and the battle will be ours. Mazda Mundi's mount, at least, a pincushion on the battlefield, and we will be chasing off everything that we can here, so that it doesn't come back. Marcus is at 43 kills and 17k damage. The damage isn't too bad, but the kills are a little bit low. Out of curiosity, the other heroes, we got 9 only on Edwig Van Hal, so maybe it would be better to use him a little bit more in melee? He does, in theory, do very nice range damage. I guess he's also probably to be used like a unit hunter. Well, I guess like all of these guys are. And then Kalara at 18k. Did more damage than Marcus, most likely due to the better hits from the Arrow of Kurnus as opposed to the Amber Bow. Alrighty. And with that, I believe the rest of the enemies have been chased down. A close victory. I believe our pikes were heavily damaged, if not outright destroyed. But at the end of the day, not only do we not care about that, but this was the main army that was threatening in this portion of the map. So I think we're good to continue our conquest, regardless of the walls. It would have actually been much worse for us if Mazda had simply stayed behind the walls, where Marcus wouldn't have been able to easily siege him. Damn, I was hoping to get the Lichbone pennant, but the Banner of Eternal Flame is also pretty nice. We did okay. We lost the pikemen, but they were going to get replaced anyway, so that's irrelevant. Get 3,000 money out of it, which ain't bad. Mazda Mundi and most of his army are also down, so we're reasonably happy with the results. Pardon the captives? And let's see, ooh, wait, is this army going to be outside the settlement? I wonder. If we could draw them into a field battle, this would make it much, much easier to take the floating pyramid there, if they're still in range of it, though. Kind of hard to tell. Looks like they might have wandered a little bit too far away. Arcan? Oh, he's just going to directly declare war on us himself. Well, that's interesting. Can't say I was expecting that one, though a little bit annoying, because most likely this means we will lose the Great Desert of Araby. Call allies to help, definitely. And let's see, what can you reach in a single turn, Arcan? I assume the Great Desert, yeah, well, we're not going to bother defending it. Wait, this is Martek. Alright, well, Martek will fall, but that's okay. We don't really care about most of these territories. We'll get them back very quickly, and same with the Eye of the Panther. Man, well, great job to Arcan to suddenly attack us. Mostly because, wait, you want peace? Dreadfleet? No. Yeah, great job to Arcan to take advantage, because we were going to wait a few more turns and get more armies down here, but he decided to attack us preemptively. Exactly what I would have done in his place. Alrighty, that place just got very interesting. Peace treaty with the Bloodhall Coven, that's not going to happen. And we need to destroy them. And burn off Grindadra... Oh, okay. They just added their non-aggression pact. I've thought for a second that they would declare war on us, which wouldn't be great, though we do have a lot of choke points in that location, so still would have been okay. Sword of Cain rests, but isn't our problem. Political favors versus give them tiny amounts of cash, sure. We've already done that, or we've already read it. There's that Banner of Eternal Flame. Spawn Killer for Marcus, and damn, look at that leadership aura. Ah, man. Kind of would have been nice to actually get this on Karl, because he already has massive leadership aura increase, just to lean further into it. Otherwise, Martek and the Panther got sacked. We got ourselves another Scribe and Imperial Pegasus for Colt. Very nice. We've been waiting on that one. Next up, we're going to turn off the Council of Electors. We'll turn it back on afterwards, and you are in range. Ooh. Now I have to wonder. And will you be able to draw out the garrison? The garrison isn't all that big. And... they might not be willing to fight. On the other hand, though, if we don't replace the units we lost, maybe they would. And, ooh, hello, what do we have here? Ah, the silver bullets are back up. Or at least ready to be. I haven't decided whether we want to pop them into Kurt's army or into Gelt's army. Gelt is getting the Templehof Luminarch again. Oh, but yeah, that'll be a bit later. So I was also thinking, Eotane, we could borrow a couple of Lothran Seaguard from you to replace those pikes, but obviously not right now, so we can still draw the garrison out. There's also the option of getting Celestial Dragon. They're not here. No, okay, well, we don't have access to them yet, and I guess we don't have enough allegiance anyway, but that's one of the reasons we're trying to get the Runefang Pact. That allegiance point increase. Gonna be real helpful for our various new army types. Anyway, let's see what, if anything, is going on here. So, I don't see their army at the Great Desert of Araby. One of them is near to Volkmar and Luther Grauber, though Grauber may want to move out here to defend the Eye of the Panther. Let's see, we got Arcan moving around in march stance. I wonder, if we destroy King Hapros, would we be able to immediately march down upon Arcan? If we could take both armies out, it would be real swell. Fortunately, though, these two armies are free to move southward, which we will be doing next time. And actually, out of curiosity, and we could try to... How much do you want for the Grimhold? 25k. It's honestly not that bad. I'd really rather just pay him the money than trade him the massive Orcal. And there may be other things we can trade the mass 4cal for, or even just keep it in order to continue using State Troop Levy. We just need a public order building here. In fact, if we delete the Tailors Guild, which we don't really need in this particular province, we could use it like the other one settlement provinces to generate capacity for heroes and such. Also, we got one turn remaining until our... until Boris's army is ready to go, and maybe he'll even get a first fight against Moxia out here. Hopefully before Moxia reaches Middenstag. Oh, I don't like that. Can you chase after this? Moxia's gonna run. Are you at war with these guys? No. What about... Wait. Can we get you to join war? And how much would it cost? Ecstatic Legions? 23, you gotta be kidding me. Lauren. Being pretty useless right now. And we haven't even killed you or anything. You gotta think about that, man. And, oh. Grimfang now has a full stack. Ooh, hello. Nud is eyeing that with, something. Battle Lust? I don't know. Something along those lines. We should be able to get that battle going next episode. And, you know what? We're pretty much out of time. Let's do this. Let's check diplomacy, and then we'll call it here for the battles in the admin next time. Great Orthodoxy. Still no. Eastern River Lords also still no. Vidrioth, ready now. Good.
Welcome to the halls of
Lovely. And give us your money. And is that all the Wood Elf factions allied with us now? Now that Vidrioth is among them, we're still lacking Torgavon. Okay, fine. We'll get you, Torgavon. I'm sure we'll get you. And the western provinces are getting there as well. Vanaheimlings really want peace. In fact, wait. While we're here, let's knock the Vanaheimlings out. This should be auto-resolvable, right? Yeah, it looks pretty garbage. Conquata, how much in the way of defenders do you have? Not much.
I will marshal the men.
Alright, Kurt... We might actually have to manually fight this. The problem is... Wait, just move in here, please.
Fight for our nation.
Hey, success. Pyrrhic victory, these two units die, but if we move the other army in, will that still be the case? I really don't see the need to fight this tiny little battle. And if we can avoid it... these two units still die, so we'll have to fight it super... Oh, wow, all of these guys die too? Okay, auto-resolve, okay. I see how it's gonna be. Alright, we'll do that at the start of next episode, plus the admin then, and we'll continue getting our new armies up and running. Maybe we'll even have Boris take most of these guys and move towards Moxia before they can reach Middenstag or something. Karaberg at least is not under threat, but yeah. We've also paid a lot of money to get all those special buildings up at Karberg. Ooh, speaking of special buildings, the Moot. You now get the Grand Cauldron, which is a bunch of trade goods, control, and all provinces' growth. I might as well just build this and this here, because you're surrounded by stuff. And Mordheim, you are going to get the Sigmar's Rock. Granted, it's not a lot, doesn't do anything crazy, but, you know, -1 corruption all provinces ain't too bad. And there are certainly provinces that we have where corruption is gonna be an issue. Now, we'll probably have to replace the barracks here for a paved road later on, but we do want to keep capacity with the military units for now. Anyway, also before I forget, Imperial Calibration. Wait, we have another Imperial Calibration and a Defender event. Damn. I'm gonna get all of these into Helmut's army. I never expected to need extra capacity from Witch Hunters. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. We will still get you up and running, just so I don't forget. Holdorf, you can be, I don't know, powder carrier. There you go. I guess he didn't need the... Nah, whatever. Alright, just so that I remember who's who, because he's going to be near the artillery pieces in Helmut's army. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to call it here. Next time, we have to try to deal with Arcan's nonsense for at least a few turns before the extra armies arrive to bail our units out. We will also... Where's that little army here? Also try to go after this little army with Gelty Boy, though I'm not entirely sure we can catch them. We'll give it a try. And if not, Peter's still here, and he could do it for us from this direction. I really doubt that they could... No, they could really threaten anything here anyway, and as soon as we are done with them, we're going to send Gelt out to the Badlands to start helping out the dwarfs and taking their stuff. We may also have to fight Barak Var because they hate us so much, but, I mean, probably not a big deal. We just trade their territories to Karazakarak anyway, and it'll just make them stronger. It's not like Barak Var is going to be all that useful to us. And then otherwise... how are the Earthsun Revivalists alive? They're still alive. They're holding on, and ooh, Karl. Or no, we're actually going to start the next episode out by fighting Throggy here. Alright, exciting times. I want to see Karl versus Throg in a one-on-one, so cross your fingers, stay tuned for it. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.